I see you, G.
It's poppin', people. Yes, sir! Yo. What's poppin', people? Yo. 15 years in, still cooking. Back when the lobbies were ruthless. Call of Duty on the screen, late night. 2K dreams, no sleep, just truth then. Turn the channel to a playground. Whole city watching how he break down. First black network, he stamped that. Get the keys, let them meet, never take back. Build lanes, build lives, build legends. Put shine on the kids they ain't mentioned. You can feel every step in the stride. When he talk, you can tell he's that guy. Bigsnackks, been that guy. From the sticks and the courts to the bright stage lights. Put the crew on, watch their views go high. When he say, yo, what's poppin'? You know it's go time. Bigsnackks, been that guy. Turn grind into gold, you can see it in his eyes. New wave, same heart, same drive. When you talk new, you can't leave him out the lie.
And all we know is we about to get this thing popping. Because it has been a few months since the two of us have been on the same stage. And last time it was me in the barbershop. But today, after the interview, man, when G. Bush sat down with Coach Prime, everybody heard the interview. But today, we getting the interview after the interview. What was really said. What did Coach Prime really mean? And what does this all mean for Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns? What's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building, and you already know what time it is. Today, we got something different. We got the interview after the interview. G. Bush then sat down with Coach Prime, Shedeur Sanders himself. And it takes a special individual to get that type of invite. And that conversation has everybody talking. But now G. Bush is pulling up to your boy on the lunch table to talk about what happened behind the scenes, what he took away from Coach Prime's message, and how all of this connects back to Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. Because let's keep it real, man. Anytime Coach Prime speaks, people listen. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people try to twist it. But one thing about Coach Prime, he knows exactly what he's saying. And when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, the conversation is bigger than football. It's about respect. It's about opportunity. It's about development. It's about whatever Cleveland truly understands what they have in the building. And today, G. Bush is going to break all of that down for us. What did Coach Prime really say? What did he really mean when he talked about Shedeur? Is Cleveland ready to handle the spotlight that comes with this young quarterback? And is this media making this situation bigger, messier, or louder than it needs to be? We all know how we feel about the Cleveland media. Because Browns fans already know this quarterback room is the hottest topic in the city, probably the NFL. Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, and another 6th-round draft pick in Taylor Green. The media, the fans, everybody has an opinion. But Coach Prime brings a different level of perspective, and he's just not a Hall of Famer. He's just not Shedeur Sanders' father. He's a coach, a leader, and he's somebody who understands the pressure, expectations, and criticism of what it takes to survive when it comes to these cameras always rolling. And that's why this conversation today matters. G. Bush got the chance to sit down and talk with him, ask the questions. You heard the tone. You felt the energy. And now we going to unpack it all right here today. No filter, no narratives, no Cleveland media spin, just me and G. Just real conversation. So y'all get y'all drinks together. Y'all lock in. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section because we want to know what y'all think. Because today we talking Coach Prime, G. Bush, Shedeur Sanders, and the Cleveland Browns. The interview after the interview. And without further ado, I want to introduce to y'all the man who has shook up the Cleveland media space. The one and only, the scorekeeper, the main man in the barber shop, my partner, Gary Bush, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man. Yep. Let's let that play real quick. Yeah. I tell you what, man. The scorekeeper, yes, indeed, is in the building. G. Bush is in the building. Thank you. Bigsnackks, man. Listen, my brother, this is well overdue. Listen, we had to pull back up. You was at, you definitely came on the barbershop. And I always said, man, by the way, my mom, my dad, they watch you religiously. My brother Trent, they said, man, Snacks he be going in, man. We was watching your late night live the other day, man. And so when we pulled up and we was talking, we was chatting, because all hell broke loose, I guess, a couple of days. Listen, we gonna get hey. See, this is the great thing about how we do in our community, right? And this is the community Bigsnackks I'm trying to bring to the table, to the forefront is. And we got to learn how to have the decorum, and we got to learn how, when you starting something and we won't all be a part of this thing, we got to learn how we move and how we going to get to it. So we got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to Prime. We got some time today. So we going to get to all of that. But first and foremost, I got to salute you because, we was like, a lot of people don't know, when we first linked up, this is probably like maybe last year around this time. On Sundays, we was coming on doing our thing. And one thing about Bigsnackks is, like, y'all got to understand, like, one of the things he was saying, he was talking and stuff the other day. And I'm like, yeah, bro, he got millions, bro. He got millions of views over here. Like, a lot of people don't know he been doing this YouTube thing for a very long time. And the thing about Snacks that y'all got to understand is, I respect it because every time you see Snacks, he got something different bringing to the table. Like, from the intros, from the graphics, from just the way he late night sipping with y'all, man. Just the way, the energy that you is simply say KSAP is going back and forth on the child. I was like, man, he called him nice skinned. It's funny, man, to see the OGs in the spaces doing that. So for me, man, Bigsnackks, he been doing it. He been on the internet. So I got to show love, and it was well overdue because we had to come talk about some things, man, especially when we got to pull up to the cafeteria table.
Oh, ain't no doubt. And I appreciate you taking the time out your day. I know you are super busy, and people are in your DMs and trying to get all they can get right about now. So
that DM is jumping right now, and not for the reasons it used to jump back in my school days.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't had this much action in the DM since I was single. I'm married. Let's say so. Hey, listen, it's all good, man.
It's a little different out there right now. People trying to touch because you did something everybody was trying to do. And it wasn't by happenstance. It wasn't by you taking the initiative and reaching out and doing what most of everybody else in this media space is doing. This was requested upon. This was Coach Prime reaching out to you, is what most people don't understand. Most people didn't get the message that Coach Prime could have been on any media space in the world. There are millions of podcasts and national news syndicated spaces that he could have taken this message to. But he chose one person because Coach Prime doesn't do interviews. That's why this interview is a rare exclusive. And it means something in the media space. And he chose you. Out of all the people in Cleveland, out of all the people that he knows in the media space, Garrett Bush, Coach Prime pulled up to the barbershop. What does that mean to a brother like yourself?
Well, first and foremost, I want to just say that's just God. Prime is a man of God, and sometimes when God move on you, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Reverend BJ with Nelson. You know, when Prime, when the Lord move and he tell you to go do something, you know, as children of God, and if you literally saying that God gonna lead me where I'm supposed to go, he'll tell you to do some things, and you got to be obedient enough to do them. Also, it means that Coach Prime is a man of he played a long game, not the short game. What you can have some takes 1 to 2 days, and you may be saying some stuff and it'd be hot. But then it's also about the discernment. See, a lot of it, I think one of the reasons Coach Prime gave me the opportunity, I'm thankful for the opportunity, because like you said, he could have went anywhere. Coach Prime got 60-minute interviews. Understand that. He's done 60 minutes. Like, that is the interview. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? He's done interviews. He can call somebody today, say, give me a camera down here, and it's on with any CNN, Fox, whatever you want to do. So the fact that he chose somebody who is an independent media content creator, who is a person that does not have the name or specifically the cachet of traditional interviewers. And by the way, he took an opportunity, he took a chance on me too, because even when I started this, now when it comes to the opinion game, you know, you turn that camera on, we talk for hours. You know how we do in a barbershop. But what he did is he gave me an opportunity. And the thing is, people think I don't like journalism or I'm not into journalism, but I had to actually, when you get that phone call means, hey, and he called me, he hit me up, and it was 10 o'clock after a Cavs game I got covering. He said, yo, you free? I said, yeah, coach. He said, I said, well, you want to talk to me tomorrow or something? He said, yeah, no, I'm trying to have that conversation. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, what time? He's like, I got a half hour for you, right? So when somebody tell you got a half hour for you, now you got to think. That's why when people say G. Bush don't respect journalists, absolutely, that's false. You know why? Because I had to get back into my journalism bag. I had to figure out what questions to ask. I had to get certain questions off the book. I had to say, okay, what is the tone of it? How do I want to approach the situation? Do I want to talk about this topic? Hey, does he want to be the real one? Because I asked him on the phone, hey, Brian, is there anything you do or do not want to talk about? Because at the end of the day, with an interview like that, your goal is to get the viewer's thoughts out. And you know what he said? You know what he said? Whatever you want to ask, dog.
Fair game.
And I said, yo, say less. So I got in my bag and got to going and doing certain things like that and figure out the way I want the tone to be. But, you know, and I always pros this, and I'm telling everybody this right now. This wasn't no just win or no G. Bush stuff, man. And we won that. We won that. And what people don't get, this is a war for the independent media concepts, bro. Like we just showed them that, yeah, you can have where you at over here, the traditional media. But today, if we keep putting work in, if we keep putting the bricks in, if we keep supporting, if we keep trying to push the envelope forward on this content, the sky's the limit. Nowadays, ain't no respect of person. Now it's about, if you just put good content out, it ain't just G. Bush. The Bigsnackks can get that. The whatever people in the independent media can be that too. So for me, this was a big move that stamped and solidified what we trying to do in independent content. It ain't just you just a little old internet YouTube. They used to look down on us, man. They looked at us like we were some little kids talking and laughing and playing around while they was doing big moves. But while they was laughing, we was putting that work in, and we was putting that work in brick by brick, one member at a time, one subscriber at a time. And now with their understanding, and I'm gonna tell you this for a fact, these teams, the Browns, all of them, they understand now. You can kind of control the media. You can control the media where it's regular traditional printer television, but you ain't got nothing for these bloggers. They not plugged into the matrix. So now they're looking to see how can we tap into that market and change the narrative and concept about what we are as organizations. And I think that's the exciting part, Bigsnackks, where we are today.
Yeah, and it shows that independent media has the same power that print media and legacy media has now. You just can't depend on the regular people, the ABC, the CNNs, the ESPNs, because now you have regular people like you that have more reach than the people that they pay to report on them. People like everyday people like myself, like you, like Auntie Faye, like what? Keep the Vision, and people like that, KSAP. You know, all of us have a mouthpiece now. And all of us have audiences that watch and understand and believe and trust in what we say. Now, the people that you pay, the people feel some type of way about them now because everything is in a bigger spotlight. The Cleveland media should be in a panic, and they kind of are under the spotlight because the CU aunties don't let them get away with nothing, you know.
At all. They're not going. They ain't. You're not getting away with it. Shout out. I gotta say this too, before we even first of all shout out. Listen, shout out to Auntie Faye. Shout out to you, Queen. Shout out to you. First and foremost, I love that you represent for the ladies. Like you representing, and it's not just no fake. You know what I'm saying, showing. Nah, bro. Me and my mom is a bona fide CU auntie, right? You know, she was just on my other show the other Top 5. And Auntie Faye got the way she deliver her stuff. Now, when you talk about them receipts, bro, let me just tell you something. The way she present them receipts, she cold with it. You know how we do, Bigsnackks. You know how we do with them receipts. And she stand 10 tones down. And so for me, I listen, one thing that I respect is I respect her grind. I respect her hustle. She got 2,000 followers. Hey, that need to be 10. That need to be 10. That need to be 10 quick. And at the end of the day, we got to support one another. And I'm gonna address, and I'm gonna do it in a way. I'm gonna address a lot of things and do this. First and foremost, we got to learn that we can't get distracted. See, sometimes when things happen, you can get distracted and you forget what you're doing, what we're here for. And it's okay, because guess what? Everybody's slipping, everybody fall. Everybody is going crazy about the John Liquidator thing and all that other stuff. Let me just tell you, first and foremost, to that brother, I ain't got no ill will to that man. Salute to you. As a matter of fact, as a man of God, how I always do it, if you apologize, it's up to God said, quickly forgive, right? Quickly agree with your adversaries. And he's not even my adversary. So if he apologized, I don't even know what he's apologizing for. Here's the thing I'll say. He is allowed to have the opinion that maybe he might not like the interview. That's fine. That's cool. Ain't nothing. We ain't no big deal about that. But what we got to do, though, with that being said, is we got to learn that we can disagree with certain things and not go left. This is what this internet is built on. The internet is built on, hey, content out there, content is content. If that's how we put opinions out there, right? And so if one person got an opinion, I put my hand up. You know me. I tell people openly on my show, hey, if you want G Bush content, people used to call me and say, G Bush, you mind use the clip? I said, You ain't got to ask me that. Use it away. You know why? Because that's what this game is built on. I believe in that. I believe the same way rappers ain't going to no police. The same way when you in the block, you not calling, you see something happen. Man, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know. We not doing that. We gon' be like, yo, that's part of the game. Even if I got people that consider me they ops, I don't even copyright nothing they do. Take it away. But here's the thing: when you get it, you better not miss. If you get it, you know we coming back tomorrow. So that's the love of the game, though. And what we got to do in our community is we got to learn. We can disagree about certain things, but guess what? You're gonna be always stronger together than you is separate. Because at the end of the day, that interview came out, we should have all been pumped up, ready to go. Because now we on the map. We here. We literally stacks. We in the building.
Yes.
And so that new Cleveland movement, that's what people feel. I'm in both worlds. Snacks, I'm in both worlds. I'm on the independent side and I'm on the corporate side. Man, let me tell y'all, when I've been in them rooms, and we talking about, bro, they know what we representing. They know we out here moving in a different direction. And the thing that we can't get done, bro, we can't get distracted. We can't be moving around and going back and forth about stuff that really don't matter. That's why I say I'm gonna come on here and we're gonna end all that. I say, listen, shout out to John the Liquidator. Shout out to him. Shout out to Auntie Faye. Shout out to all of the independent media content creators. Look, I always tell people, they be like, man, you the face of it. Nope. I stop people all the time. And it's good folks out here with good content everywhere. It's just up to you to find them. So we all here now, bro. So it's time for us to keep it going, and hopefully we can continue to keep this thing moving. But I just wanted to say that because I don't like things festering and moving. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Let's get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I made my video, I didn't, no hate to that brother. I've been watching the brother. I've been subscribed to him. I just said, that's what I told him. Just apologize. That's all you got to do. Say you was wrong and it's over with. We done. We back to the business. We back to the lecture at hand. Everybody mess up. But we all get that one time to be forgiven and move on. So that's where we at right now. But we moving on to this goodness. But before we get into that, before we get into this Coach Prime and get real deep into this thing, I'm gonna look up Saturday and I see I see moms on the streets. I'm like, hey, mom just popped down. She out there popping. She looking swaggy. If y'all don't know, G Bush got a family show. Like I told y'all, G Bush now has his very own studio. And they popped out Saturday on the family show and the top 5 with moms. So y'all need to go support and show some love to that show on the weekends. I think they're gonna do it just on Saturdays and Saturdays alone. It's gonna be Sundays. It's Sunday at 2 p.m. So it's Sundays at 2 p.m. And Dad was on there last week, right? Pops was on there last week, man. So you know what we trying to do is bring it back. See, it's another thing, man. I just try not to talk about it. I really try to be about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I told people, I said, man, I'm trying to bring my this in a different direction. I'm trying to bring the family unit back. I'm trying to tell stories and talk. You know, back in the day, we had a conversation when we pulled up and we was on one of your streams and we was talking back and forth about how our grandparents used to be and how we used to be moving around on the porch and family time and Sunday dinners and things like that. So it's a great opportunity to see, you know what I'm saying, to have an opportunity to do something and bring something different. We telling stories, you know what I'm saying? People always want to tell me, hey man, you know, our unit ain't together. And nah, bro, I got my brother, I got my mom, I got my dad, I got my my sister-in-law, my niece,
and I got my wife, and we showing you that, yo, we can do good content, man. And we got the studio open. So look, Bigsnackks, I'm telling you, he got the open invite. You know what I mean? He got the big bag. You know, he got 30 million views, or he got 30 million subscribers, or he got million view joints. You got the residual bag. So when you ready to get on the plane, come on down here. We put you in the studio. We gonna chop it up. But this is what I like to call the arc, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I truly believe in being independent. Like, people's like, man, I put a lot of my time, energy, and effort into the studio, so that if tomorrow they come to me and say, hey, this all over, we pulling the plug on this, that, and the third, they might not even like G Bush for a little bit, right? They may give me up, but now I got something where, boom, come on, you can't stop that. You can't stop a man with his own stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the idea is behind. Shout out to my people. And y'all been lovely for 15,000. That's showing you 15,000 views. And we talking family stuff. So continue to support that. We appreciate you.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. Y'all make sure y'all get over there and check that out. G Bush and his squad doing the top 5 all the time. So y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments while we get into the real thing about why we here, this interview with Coach Prime. And you had a chance to do what a lot of media personalities want to do, is sit down, have Coach's ear, and just go off. Just ask whatever you wanted to ask of Coach Prime. What stood out the most from you from that interview? Prime's tone, and what you think about the media covering what you've done so far. How is that interpretation of the outside media covering your interview?
Well, I'll start with what you just said. I think the way the media has covered it, they covered it in a way where I think job accomplished. And what I wanted to accomplish in that interview was to give him a platform and to give him a roadway to ask him genuine questions that aren't loaded, questions that don't lead the witness down a certain path, but to honestly show him as a multifaceted human being. Sometimes we get to a point where somebody is so famous and so rich, we have this misconception thoughts of who they are. So for so long, we've heard what we heard, who told them something, what was the dude behind the scenes said, what was all. No. I'm gonna give you opportunity to tell your story as a coach, as one of the greatest athletes of all time, as a father, and as a person who worked in the media for 20 years. I think that gets missed. I think it also gets missed of just how brilliant he is when it comes to the X's and O's. He was gracious. Before we even did the interview, he was gracious to sit there with me, and we got a chance to talk football, like at a high level. And so some of the questions that we get where you're phrasing people asking, okay, well, what is, Coach Prime, why does he want to, he wants to go talk to the coaches. Is that good or bad or indifferent? And I'm looking at you like, man, listen, this is one of the greatest football minds of our generation. He's one of the best. He's the best player at his position, period, bar none. He's also a marketing genius. He's the first reason why anybody get endorsement deals. If you got a Nike deal, a Adidas deal, you know how to market yourself, endorsements outside of it. He's doing you that, right? He's the first person he's a trailblazer all the way. He went from high school to Jackson State to Division I, Power 5. That ain't never been done before. And so for me, I just had an opportunity to just touch base with him, and it's like, man, what came through the most was, man, this guy his football knowledge is second to none. I mean, it's just, it's a wealth of knowledge. And then the second thing that really shined for me is he just real and genuine. Like the realness. Like, you ever talk to somebody, and don't get it twisted. I mean, I don't know him personally. You know what I'm saying? I've had the opportunity to talk to him a couple of times. But when you talk to him, it just feels like you're talking to your uncle, or you're talking to your dad, or you're talking to a community. It's like you know him. It's like the way he communicates on that first person type deal, and he does his research. He said, you know what? I watched you for over a whole year. And that's what I meant earlier when I say he's about the long game. See, you can be solid for 2 days. You could be solid for about 3 weeks. You could be solid for a whole half a year. But at some point in time, who you are will finally show through, because you can't pretend forever. And the thing he said, yo, I've been watching you for a long time, right? And like you said, Prime don't just interview nobody. He don't even need to interview. He is the interview, right? We talked about well-off media. He do that all the time. So to me, I think that was the biggest thing that was impressed upon me, was his realness, his competitiveness, and overall the respectful nature at which he spoke about the names of Todd Monken, Mr. Andrew Berry. He says Mr. Berry all the time, and Browns owner Jimmy Haslam. He had reverence for those guys at the highest level, and the notion that he's coming to step on people's toes or get somebody's job or to disrespect because they think that he might not win the quarterback competition. And he came in, never won in all our conversations. He never mentioned no media members by name. He never mentioned Kevin Stefanski by name. He called Mr. Berry, Mr. Berry. He also said in that interview, he is forever grateful, no matter what Shedeur does in Cleveland, for Andrew Berry and Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam picking his son. And he said he loves Todd Monken, he adores Todd Monken, and can't wait to come talk to him. And by the way, we put it out there, he just didn't show up, people. The Browns invited him to come on in. His whole staff. We just throw that out there. Watch the interview. It's there.
I just made a video about that this morning, that people is where I want to go next. The national media is asking the question, should Coach Prime go visit Todd Monken? And I'm saying he was invited. If you watch the interview, he says, last year my staff did a work camp, and this year they're doing the same thing. I'm supposed to go next week to meet with Todd Monken, but I can't because I got to shoot an interview. I got to do a commercial. And they just rewrote that whole narrative. And I saw Mike Florio this morning on PFF. He did credit your interview, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Y'all is great. Shout out to all the aunties. I'm gonna tell y'all what, y'all old people, but y'all be in every. They was going at Skip Gilbert Arenas. No. Where G Bush? Listen. I love y'all to death. Y'all is like, y'all much too kind, but y'all be holding it down.
It's because they would do it for any other media source that they use. And it's only right that you get your credit, especially because you did something all of them want to do. Skip Bayless got his personal phone number, and it's his homie. He didn't go to the arena.
Facts. He's the biggest Dallas Cowboy. He covered Deion for years.
He didn't call Shannon Sharp. He didn't call Stephen A. Well, I wouldn't call Stephen A., but he didn't call Stephen A. You know, he didn't call all these people. He called G. Bush. And that ruffled a lot of feathers. It also put you at the top of the spirit in the Cleveland media market, because none of them can say they got a 5-star interview with Coach Deion Prime Sanders. And which is cool, but how should Cleveland handle Shedeur Sanders' development after this interview? Now that some of these things that weren't clear, that were left up to everybody's imagination and speculation, going forward, the Browns know a little bit more about Shedeur as a person just through this interview, but also with the camps that they do and the people from Colorado that come there this week or next week, how should they handle Shedeur going forward?
Let me give y'all something. See, listen, what I try to do is, as me, I try to tuck little things. So what I wanted to do specifically, I said I'd probably get a lot of requests to do certain things. So what I wanted to do is when I did Ultimate Browns, I gave him a little bit of a tidbit. I think on that, I think I gave it to him on this one. I said, what I found out is that when we talk about how he was being prepared, and I came out and let him know.
Hold on.
Am I jumping?
You prepared.
Yeah.
But so am I.
Right there. Pre-draft, right? This is why it was infuriating. Pre-draft, Shedeur Sanders had former NFL executives, general managers, staff prepping him for the combine. Let me repeat that. Former executives, front office people that worked in the NFL, worked with him for his pre-draft prepping for his interviews. I don't think nobody else told y'all that, did you? Did you know that? Did you know that? So part of the reason they were so hot is because they already knew what type of answers was coming, questions to be asked, and they purposely seeked out people already in the industry who had done the questions. They prepped them. They went over everything. So when you hear that he slid to the 5th round because of headphones, now you can see why that little flimsy, that was also another lazy lie.
We ain't gonna go too deep into that. We gonna circle back to some of that because that was just the beginning of the interesting part.
Man, so I gave a little nugget there, and then I'll give this. In terms of, you said, how should the Browns be going around and working and figuring out what's going on with Shedeur? I'm gonna give you a little insight to this. The Cleveland Browns have changed the way that they are approaching communications, media, marketing, promotions. They've changed their infrastructure and the way they go about it. Before, the old motto was everything is G14 classified secret. But what they actually found out is that works against you, because in marketing and in communications and in life, the more silent you are, that just gives another person to make up their own truth. See, in the darkness, or when you devoid of any sort of communication or facts, people will make up their own perception in their mind. And once that perception is not debunked, or whether that we see how tough perceptions is to change. So the thing that happened last year with Shedeur Sanders was the first mistake that they did, and we always tell them, is don't have false advertising. I'm a marketing major. If you say, you come here and apples is $2 for $1, right? $2 for $1. If you decide to change that and they get to the register and say, it is going to be 2 for $1.15. Now, mind you, it's only 15 cents more. People going to flip out. You know why? Because you should have just told us there was 15 cents more. It ain't the money. $1.15 and $1 don't make or break nobody. That's the principle of the situation. If you gonna say that it's gonna be a fair quarterback competition, and then we get out there when we go watch it, he's throwing at trash cans, and obviously he's over here like the redhead stepchild, and we see that this is a game, people is automatically gonna look at you crazy. they're not going to think anything you come with next after that is automatically going to be mud, because the perception is you can't even be honest about the small stuff. Todd Monken is great about being honest about the small stuff. They're like, how do you feel about what Shiloh said? That's another man talking to somebody. How do you feel about somebody saying, Deshaun Watson is quarterback? That's a person's opinion. I didn't say that. Like, he like, bro, this has nothing to do. He's like, well, what about, should you name a quarterback now or later? He said, listen, I'm going to give everybody the test. Like, how you want to have a valedictorian? You want to find out who the smartest kid in the class is, but then you only give one kid the test? No, everybody get the test. That's how it works. So the Cleveland Browns have done a masterful job at doing things that are deeper than people think. They came out with the what's the name video, the schedule video. The first thing that happened when Shedeur Sanders came into town, you know what they said? You're going to meet with Todd Monken. We're going to all be around. We're going to look around. They've made a conscious effort to lean into the fact of, hey, we got Shedeur Sanders. Hey, he's popular. Yeah, his dad is a legend. Why is that a bad thing? Why is, I ask the question all the time. And I said it today on UCSS, make sure go check that clip out. They said, okay, well, it's just the things surrounding them, and people gonna say your dad? How many dads just get to come to work and talk to? I said, well, listen, we're in y'all's community, the dad already owned the work. In y'all's community, the dad don't own the company. And when y'all's community, the dad owned the company, the son is already the next up in charge, and the other kid that don't even graduate college, that's a screw up, that be drunk half the time, he your manager. And you talk about what it happened. What do you mean? I said, if you got Prime, it just so happens to be that's his head coach. That's one. You don't want to talk to him. You talk to everybody else's head coach in college. Two, he's Prime, one of the greatest players of all time. And three, why do you have to be so insecure? See, it's a lot of this about insecurity, Snacks. As a man,
ego.
As a man, why would you have a problem having a conversation with another man that would be intimidating about a sport that you both know a lot about? I asked him, I said, listen, would you be mad if you got Arch Manning? Wouldn't you want to talk to Eli Manning? Would you not take a conversation with Peyton Manning? Would you not take a conversation with the grandfather? Of course you would, because it's the Mannings. So what are we doing this mental gymnastics about Prime like he not Prime? That's the point we trying to make to y'all. For you, that might be your royalty, right? That and it's fine, because the Mannings, because guess what? They didn't put the work in too. Because if Peyton Manning want to have a conversation, I'm having it too. I don't care who pays. Look, I'm gonna get that too. But for us, don't keep trying to question us on our royalty. The same way that's royalty over here, and it's not to be played with at any cost. It's the same way it's over here. Because the legacies line up, the money line up, the accolades line up. So we're not going to do that. So why are you confused when we say, what are you talking about? Of course you're going to have that meeting. And Todd Monken, a real one too. And Todd is the one who said, come on up here. Come on now. Come on.
I keep asking everybody that question. If they watching the videos, I'm asking that question. The same thing goes with Travis Hunter. Why would you not call the one player that's done the same thing that you're trying to do with that player? If you have a greater example, show it, because there are none when it comes to Travis Hunter. Why would you not call the one player, the one coach, the one person who trained him to play both ways, who taught him to play both ways, who also played both ways? There are no... you don't have 15 examples of that. You don't have 12 other coaches that has done what he's done.
At all.
There's only one player in college that has done what Travis Hunter has done, and it's Travis Hunter. And there's only one player that done what Travis Hunter has done in the NFL, and that's Shedeur Sanders. So who else you gonna go get your information from?
You know what, Snacks? He told me something, and like I say, we won't get to the real talk. He said, I believe there's a lot of people who thought, and this is how things get started, and people start creating their own narratives in their mind. There are a lot of coaches in the NFL that were insecure about their positions, specifically with that head coaches. And one of the big major things is in terms of Coach Prime. He said something, and it is true. And I never thought about this when he said it. He said, I've been doing the media for 20 years. He said, I'm as plugged in as they come. This was great. He said, I'm so plugged in. I know what they're gonna say or have already said before they said it. Because I didn't already known. I got people that had already. So he said, when people talk about sources, ain't none of them got no more sources than me. And his relationship, and this is me just speaking, his relationships with owners and high decision makers are intimidating to coaches. So the thought process is, if we take Shedeur, the thought process is, if we do take a guy like that, if we don't perform well, or even if Shedeur does play well and we know he's a franchise quarterback, the next step is what? The obvious step is Coach Prime is going to coach him, because that's the first thing everybody talked about. Is Prime going to Dallas? Is Prime about to come over here? Is Prime? And he's like, look, man, I'm not trying to go to the NFL. I'm over in Colorado. But I think a lot of people took that and internalized it. That is why there are a lot of people that still have this misconception of, if he comes to the room and says anything, you're going to be out of a job. I mean, no. Well, Brian Daboll should have probably he should have worried about Jackson Dart. He should have figured out what was going on with the Giants, because he still got to let go. Like, you got to worry about your job, man. Win football games. So I think that was a part of it that really played a part of it. Is like the narrative that Prime was coming to try to take people's jobs.
Oh, that
wasn't
false. It wasn't false. And a person that I know you should be talking to or will be talking to really, really, really soon, my homie Duke the Scoop.
Oh yeah, we're getting that lined up right now.
I know you're getting it lined up. My homie Duke the Scoop put some truth to that room.
I got a unique perspective on this, because some of you guys just know me from the media side, right? But not knowing that I have a very successful consulting business that is on a need-to-know basis, right? And some of the partnerships that I've had with people are some of the biggest people in sports. And I usually don't lead with this type of stuff, but this is just so preposterous. I'm just going to walk you guys through some of this, right? So, first and foremost, a lot of people will say, oh, well, Shedeur was never supposed to go first round. They forgot what people were saying about Shedeur the whole time leading up to the draft. They forgot. How do you forget? I had a front office guy call me and ask. This is the God honest truth. I had a really high-ranking front office guy. I got a great relationship that knows that I got a relationship with Coach Prime. Called me and say, you think Coach Prime will take the job? He was worried that the team that he worked for was going to clean house. Okay? Now, I know some people are like, man, Dukes ain't got no sources for real. Dukes ain't in the mix. All right, cool. This is what we'll do.
I'm just saying.
Facts. Y'all don't, and the thing of it, this is not just, I'm in Cleveland. This is not just like, okay, one isolated incident. No, you got to understand, Coach Prime has a great relationship with Jerry Jones, a great relationship with Jimmy Haslam, a great relationship with the owner, Mr. Blank down in Atlanta. He has relationships all over the league. And so GM, the thought process was, hey, do you want to be one of those guys that you get off to a 1-4 start? You get off a little slow and sluggish. Coaches understand what the game is. If they taking a quarterback, who's gonna last longer than the quarterback you take in the first round? You or the coach. If you not Andy Reid, if you not one of the big dogs, hey, listen, I just saw Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh go. And them is the big dogs in the AFC North. It's not for long when it comes to these coaches, too. That's NFL stands for them, that as well, especially when you talk about a first-round pick. So the thought process that, listen, nah, bro. People was literally paranoid about that. And I think that contributed a lot to it. And then the most riveting thing was Coach Prime said at the end, he said, listen, man, for once in my life, I was always been able to fix it for my children. I was always able to fix it. And for once, my son wanted my advice, my help to fix it, and I couldn't do nothing but sit there. And he said that was the most difficult part of the entire thing. He said he handled like a champ, never complained. He said, but for him, that hit different because you got to think about it. He does have these relationships. He does have the information. He put the time, energy, and effort to prepare him the right way. He put the pieces and the interview and the general and the former scouts, and here we're going to prep for this, only to be derailed by he said, she said, that we still, to this day, nobody can give you a concrete nothing.
We still asking why?
But the thing I thought also, too, is I love the fact that Coach Prime came off this way. He came off as, we Sanders. We tough. He said, we ain't going to do a 30 for 30. We're going to do a 2 for 100. We're going to figure out who said what and what happened. And we keep the receipts. So the thing that I love the most about him is he like, it's time to double down and let's get it going. It's time to get it popping. Competition is competition. They did everything that they could to derail what we got going on. But here we are at the doorstep right now with the opportunity. You did all of that, but we still here with what we thought we was going to be able to do. And if you thought Shedeur Sanders was going to be a person that was going to be a franchise quarterback, he got that opportunity right now today. And I think the great thing is he embraces that. And I'm going to tell you what, he never not once said nothing crazy about Deshaun Watson. He talked about the fact that he is a competitor, that Deshaun Watson had put some great things on tape. But he said, listen, when it come down to the come down, you know how grown do. He said he was locked in. He said, bro, he was at graduation with the cleats in the bag. Practice. He had already practiced. He said, and I said, how you know? And I asked him, I said, well, how you know when Shedeur locked in? He said, when you start seeing them yelling at them receivers, and getting guys together, telling them, hey, give me another receiver over here. You got to catch the ball. Get up out of here. He said, that's when you know he locked in. And I love it because that's the best when you got two people fighting for something. Deshaun Watson fighting for his career. He's fighting for, you going to take your money and go home? Because if you don't do nothing now, people are not going to give you another opportunity. So you better be ready to go. And Shedeur Sanders, you already know what it is. You got an opportunity to get that, to start be a franchise quarterback today, ready right now. Mm-hmm. If you can't get excited about that, you don't like football.
And I don't know why Cleveland ain't excited. Cleveland is excited. Cleveland media ain't excited.
Yeah, let's rephrase that.
Let me change.
Yeah, it's to be they a little salty, but when it comes, and I'm glad you said that, Snacks. I said, man, I'm glad you said that because
but before you run into that, what I keep telling people is Monken is not what Cleveland wanted, but he is damn sure what Cleveland needs. Now you can run that thing off because
he I wanted Jim Schwartz. And here's the difference, too, between me and a lot of people. But the Browns, see, let me just let y'all know something. In this game, you're not going to have sources on everything. So always beware when somebody is like, oh, I'm dialed in. I'm locked in. I got sources on this, that. I got the financial, the free agency, who they getting in the draft. All that. No. That ain't the way it works. The way the media game work is there are different people in different parts and different factions of the building. So you may get some information from finance. You may get some information from the coaching department, scouting, executive suites, the ownership group, head coach. You may get some of that. But the thing that you got to understand is when it come down to the real things that they contemplating, sometimes you ain't going to get nothing. See, I talk to people about this quarterback and Stefanski, but when it came to that coaching search, it was dry. I was laughing at folks. Hey, it's dry out here, bro. Don't you come out here and say they ain't giving up no intel on that coach position right now, dog. Let it be known. They ain't letting nothing leak. So I was like, bro, I have no clue what they're gonna do. How would you see what they're gonna happen? When they got when they got Todd Monken, a lot of us was like, man, I don't know, Todd Monken, we got Schwartz. They was talking about these young dudes back and forth. And you know what they said? Nah, they did it right. They brought him in and said, hey, listen, this is the quarterback room. You already know what it is. We ain't got no money. We need to fill these holes. This is going to be the quarterback room. You give us a plan for what you see with these quarterbacks right here. And if you came in that room and you was talking anything else about, let me get Kyler Murray, let me go ahead, how much money we got in. That's a non-starter, dog. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Whatever that's, whoever, if you go back to the old team or whatever. And you know what Todd Monken said? He a real one. He said, yeah, you know what? Maybe if I was John Harbaugh, I could afford to turn it down. I ain't. If I was Mike Tomlin, maybe I could afford to turn it. I'm here because I already understand where I'm at in my age group, where I'm at. I'm about to get it popping. And then you said, listen, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make it work with whatever we got. But that's a coach that understands his cachet. If you feel like you're an offensive genius and you done won 2 national championships at the University of Georgia and you did it with Stetson Bennett, and what you like, come on now. If you've been a coordinator at multiple different stops and you've always got the most out of your offense, why would you not come in and look at what we got going? The problem is a lot of these dudes don't really be understanding no tape and looking at the tape, bro. Like, let's be honest with you. And then, too, you really can't say this, but your man's offense was trash. Like, let's just keep it a buck. The Cleveland Browns, they always tell you, well, gee, if so-and-so doesn't start, the Browns told you all they needed to know about it. I said, well, the Browns fired the head coach. That's all you needed to know about what they thought about him, because everybody else got kept. Everybody else is gainfully employed, except for the coach who is calling offense. So if you look at it, and I'm looking at this roster, and you're getting hit after hit after hit in the draft, you retooled your offensive line. Why do you people think you can't get serviceable, competent, professional quarterback play with all of these upgrades? What are you watching? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I just watch too much tape, but I don't know, Snacks. It just confuses me why it is that they can't see. I can't see. Like, you didn't see no throws? Bernie Kosar said it.
He don't count.
He don't count. Bernie, I mean, can we keep going? Drew Bledsoe said it.
He don't count.
Chase Daniel said it.
He don't count.
Kurt Warner said it.
He don't count.
Emmitt Smith said it.
He don't count.
Eric Dickerson said it.
He don't count.
Michael Irvin said it.
He don't count.
Shannon Sharp and Ocho said it. I just confused, maybe because they sound like it's just little G. Bush that be saying it. I just named down half the 1990s all-time team. The 90s all-decade team said it, and you're like, oh.
Show up. There were a bunch of Hall of Famers. Boy.
A bunch of gold jackets hanging up in there. Boy. And the best quarterback you done had here in Cleveland is Kosar. So I'm just asking, bro, like, I mean, how much more you need? I'm just saying. Maybe it's me.
But when you was talking to Prime dropped you a nugget, and I know you didn't catch it. And I was sitting there watching him like, ooh, G. Bush, you need to push him on that one. Because he dropped you a nugget. He told you that Monken was at the Ravens with Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart was the running back coach and the assistant head coach. Willie Taggart was also the head coach at FAU,
Oregon,
who Shedeur was going to play for
mm-hmm.
before Prime got the job.
Yep.
At JSU. Willie Taggart was going to be Shedeur's college head coach. After all the schools in the nation that he was offered, Alabama, Auburn, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Texas, every school in Texas offered them scholarships. Every big Power 5 school offered Shedeur a scholarship. And he was going to FAU to play for Willie Taggart. Trust. The same reason you got your interview was trust. But Willie Taggart was the assistant head coach in Baltimore last season with Todd Monken. And they tried to draft him.
They tried drafting. And then listen. So let me just, I'm see, man. This, snacks always get me, man. I'll be on here. I say, man, I ain't even gonna talk about that. Look, snacks always get me. Let me tell you this. Everything that they're messaging, they've been breadcrumbing this thing out. Breadcrumb. Do. Follow the. See, a lot of people not smart enough to follow the magic. Remember the old school cartoons where they used to have the black and white and the ball be like
bouncing on top of the words.
Bouncing on top of the words. See, the Browns been bouncing on top of these words for almost a half year. And the thing that they keep telling you is it's what people is telling you, but it's also what people is showing you. And so what they're showing you is this. They're playing this game on two fronts. You got the Deshaun Watson front. You got the Shedeur Sanders front. Now, what they realized was both of those guys are in a position of a no-win. Deshaun Watson, they don't want Deshaun Watson to play. Like, people that saying Deshaun Watson gonna be good, they don't want him to play. I mean, these are the same people that are saying, no. We needed to cut him and get him off the books. We need a whole new quarterback room. If your agenda is you want a whole new quarterback room, you're in trouble now because you got Deshaun Watson and you got Shedeur Sanders. They don't like either choice. Now, the problem is this. Deshaun Watson most likely won't be here next year moving forward.
Facts.
So if you waste a year and do whatever you're going to do, Deshaun Watson plays, maybe he plays 6-7 games and starts. It's not enough games because here's what they'll say. If Shedeur does come in and play, they'll say, okay, well, he plays 6 or 7 games. He played 6 or 7 games the year before. Sample size won't be as good. We don't know. It's a shame we have to say that, but we can't wait. We can't wait. We waited 2 years. Now the quarterback class is here. We got to get a quarterback. So that's the one track. Then the other track is if Shedeur does play and start, the scary part is chances are if he wins this battle, they're naming him starter for the year. Because we've already told you they are brilliant. They done already told you Deshaun Watson is back. He's healthy. We even told you that he was ahead going into camp. But Shedeur played so well that we had to elevate him. So if you got a Deshaun Watson that is elevated and is already ready to play and is good, and Shedeur beats him out, it takes off the cards off the table of being like, well, you got to go to Shedeur. No, because what they're telling you is if Deshaun Watson was actually the person who won the battle, you know what they would advocate? Give him the runway, let him play, and let him get it together. So the setup game is brilliant. They do a good enough job of setting the rules of engagement. So now if you think Deshaun Watson may win this job, and he could if he goes out and plays well, you're going to be like, okay, cool. We'll respect it. But if Shedeur comes out and beats out Deshaun Watson, you have no choice but to respect it. So now you've given your quarterback a runway. Now you're saying we had a competition. He was the best. Let's rolling. Let's see what we got. Now you can get to what you want to get to. Also, I think I've already said this for 2 years in a row. I think that they're rehabilitating Deshaun Watson. I already understand that they got him, and he was. Now we talk about it all the time. People say blackballed and stuff like that, and people get all uptight. But I said, listen, no.
Oh,
in this
they
game,
had you blackballed this weekend. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was out of here. I was done. Nah, that was called. We only on, for all that don't know, we only on 3 days a week. But I got to tax them. Any 4 days, that's gonna come out the budget. Yeah, like we can't. That's not gonna happen. So about 3 days. When the season starts, I'll be back on 5 days. So that is incorrect. So, but Deshaun Watson, they said 6 games. We gave you 11 because the Browns was playing around. They did a dangerous thing, and they already Mike Florio and all of them. They came out and already said that the league basically colluded to keep wages down based on Deshaun Watson's contract with the Browns. The Browns were hit with that. The Browns got 11 games. He ended up getting hurt. And Jimmy Haslam, I tell you, Jimmy Haslam, a real one. Jimmy Haslam knew he was playing a dangerous game. And he said, you know what? Don't you worry about Deshaun. We're going to keep you on the roster. He was at his wedding. He's going to try to rehabilitate him. And as you see, people talked about it weeks ago. I said, Snacks, watch the way the image starts to change. I said, it's going to start slowly with a trickle. Well, Deshaun looked good today. It's going to start with Deshaun. People, I'm hearing Deshaun, he's throwing the ball. The ball comes out of his hand clean. I mean, he throws a better ball than anybody in camp. It grows. Now, if he doesn't start or doesn't play or whatever the case may be, he gets an opportunity to show we can do a preseason games. He gets an opportunity to put something on tape. So now if they move on from him next year, which most likely they will be able to do, now the league now says, okay, you back in. The syndicate says we'll give you a job and we'll give you the Sam Darnold thing. We'll see if you can go somewhere else and get it. But they working on 2 different fronts.
Yeah. Now, I threw a wrench in all of it with one question that's going to tank this season if Deshaun Watson starts, which will give Shedeur Sanders all the next season, even if they do draft the quarterback. Because we all know once you draft one, he ain't going to be ready to go anyway. If Deshaun Watson starts this season, will it be because of the money? Or will it be because he's good enough and they want to rehab his career? That question is going to linger out there because he's starting over Shedeur. Shedeur is going to get 7 games minimum. And that's going to set it up for next season, even if they draft the quarterback. Well, we've only seen a half a season each with Shedeur. We got to get Shedeur at least 1 season to get out there and show what we can do.
Let me throw this to you too. Here, I know people ain't seen it. Has anybody seen? They seen the schedule game?
They ain't seen Deshaun Watson.
Y'all seen it? Y'all saw the schedule, right? I didn't see Deshaun on there. Did anybody see the draft? Right? When they came up with the draft video, when people was getting drafted.
They didn't see Deshaun Watson.
I think they saw Shedeur. The mini camp that they had, the voluntary one. Did anybody get a chance to speak to? No, it was Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, right?
We ain't talking to him.
When the free agents came in and they say, who'd you talk to? I met Shedeur, and he's a great quarterback. Okay. At the end of the year, when Myles Garrett said, what do you think? Is Shedeur the guy? He said that we treating it like that. He's gonna get first servings. When Jimmy Haslam mentioned who was in the building, I saw Shedeur in here in the building. I say this, it's all about what you say and then your actions. in the actions that everything that they've done, players, free agents, coaches, all of them are consistently saying Shedeur Sanders. And I'll give you this too, as it all encompasses when you're talking about in terms of why do you think about it that way? From an economic sense, remember what I talked about false advertising. You keep saying to your public, they buying a bunch of 2 jerseys. He all over the schedule. He at the draft. He in all of your videos. And the Browns are putting the videos out, not independent people. So if you do move to Deshaun Watson, and I'm not sitting here saying like look, I'm a football person. Whatever y'all want to do, that's on you. I'll cover whatever you're going to cover. But I'm going to just tell you how the other people react. There's a lot of people already that don't really want to see Deshaun Watson play. I don't know if you guys were here. I was here covering him. I was here when he tore his Achilles heel, and they cheered. Cheered. This man was crying. Cheered. I had to come on my post-game show and be like, y'all out of pocket. You mad? You that mad? You mad? You that mad? And not only did they cheer when he did it, they then during his rehab situation talk about he's entitled. Why is he even in the booth? He's in the booth. Why ain't he down there with his teammates? I'm like, bro, he just had surgery. You know, the sideline is one of the most dangerous places in the world, but you can't even get out of the way. Then they had him on the sideline. He got to the sideline. They said, why is he even on the sideline? I can't stand his face. He needs to just be gone. I said, bro, now that's your fan base that is going to accept this, right? Now, the other side of the fence is there's a large contingency of people that came along that want to see Shedeur play. So you got the old traditional Browns fans that ain't going to be happy. You got the new Browns fans that come over to see Shedeur, not going to be happy. And you got a first-time head coach that's trying to win some football games, and a general manager that's trying to cement his legacy. At the end of the day, I don't see any no financial reason that you should properly, if it's even close, if they just even snacks, we know how this goes. If it's even, it goes to the young guy. If we even close, because guess what? I got a young, cheap asset that can perform and get better. I may not know what your ceiling. I don't know what Shedeur's ceiling is. I know what the best of Watson is after a couple of injuries. So for me, I look at everything that they do and everything they're talking about. Bro, to me, they're like, yeah, let's sell a good fight. You're a boxing fan. You got to sell the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to sell the fight.
Without a doubt. And Munkin keep telling y'all that he likes to develop players. I know they don't develop players in the NFL anymore, but Munkin, every time he talks, he speaks of development and helping his players do the best they can do to get better.
Ooh,
we've seen what he done with Lamar. Lamar had his best NFL season ever under Todd Monken. It wasn't by happenstance, but that's what Monken do.
You said something, man. I'm going to give you credit for it, too, because you sparked this. When we get older, right, as we get older, we call, when we working out, we trying to do what? Maintenance. I'm just trying to make sure my knees don't hurt. Try to keep my little weight off. I'm trying to, when we get hurt, it's called rehab, right? We're rehabilitating to a certain point. They don't call that development. You see, development happens when you're younger. Ain't no development happen. I don't see too many 55, 45-year-old dudes getting developed. You is what you is. And if you consistently, your messaging is around developing our young players, then you take that and put that onto your quarterback room. Who fits the description of somebody that can be developed, and who fits the description of somebody that is maintaining or rehabbing? If you want development, because here's the thing, relatively speaking, Shedeur Sanders is a blank canvas. Is he not? And by the way, I also think about this as well. Don't think of it as Prime going to talk to Coach Monken and to just impart some wisdom. Think about it like this. I think this is the most dialed in Shedeur has ever been in his life. This is the most, man, I seen him tell streamers, I can't mess with you today. I told people, nah, we ain't doing no songs today. Like, I heard people say, hey, you want to come to a baby shower? Nah, dog, I got to get in this playbook. Let me tell you something. I'm be just truthful. I think the Cleveland Browns is like, it was scary what he could do when he didn't get no reps. What will it look like when that man don't care nothing about nothing and he out here locked in and he got somebody that's going to be next to him that got something to fight for too. Man, Shedeur Sanders in the preseason, let me tell you something, bro. Y'all misconstruing, bro. Like, I got to go back to my football days, man. When you going against, there was another dude, I'm not going to lie, man. Shout out to Evan Curry. There's a dude named Evan Curry. He was the same year. He was 1 year younger than me. And I was the highest recruit ever to come out of OU. I won 2 state championships, national championship in high school. I didn't even think I was supposed to be at a MAC school, to be truthful. And I was walking around acting and playing like it. Like, nah, bro, I'm that guy. I'm looking to get this dude's job. That was the dude ahead of me. But this dude named I keep saying Eddie Curry. Evan Curry, shout out to him. He came out of Bedford. And let me tell you something. He was cut up. Probably 4-5% body fat. About 6'2", 6'3", speed rusher. You know what I'm saying? 38-inch vertical, dunking basketballs at the rec center like it was nothing. Man, I said, what the heck is going on? I just had to cook to get the senior. I'm a freshman, to get the senior off the books. They got another dude behind me, and he looked like he the upgrade. I said, man, listen, I got my little 34, 35. I could dunk, but I ain't got no 36. I had to lock all the way in. See, sometimes when you look at the next dude next to you, and he got that, yeah, I came from where you came from. They done counted me out too. You ain't got no choice but to lock in, Snacks.
You gotta lock in. Gotta go get it. And they don't think he dialed in.
He's super dialed in.
The man say he saw the whips on his back when he took his shirt off. He know he been beat up. They think this was an easy route. I seen a guy on the Carl Cotton show. I put it out on a video today. And he said Coach Prime and Shedeur ain't never really had no problems. And I beg to differ. Rich people problems is different from poor people problems. Just because they ain't the same don't mean there ain't no problems. They had to struggle. They struggling now to get what they want because they just can't walk in there and pay for it. Y'all, you think this ain't no struggle? When you've been the man all your life, everywhere you go, and you walk into that building and people just back up and respect you for who you are and what you've done. And then you walk in and it's a man that didn't want you there. It's a coach that told you, hey, I'm going to draft this dude that ain't nowhere near your caliber of quarterback, but I'm going to draft him before you and he going to start. And you got to go over there and throw to the equipment manager. And we going to holler at you next week.
Man.
Y'all ain't seen no struggle? Come
on.
On.
Prime said it best. And this is why I tell people, and here's what I also learned. I learned that people's attention span is like 5 seconds. And I learned that people won't do their research. They won't take the time to do. Like, there's so many things that Prime covered in this interview that any gambit of conversation that you want to have, he covered it all. He talked about how my kids didn't grow up. They grew up with access, but they didn't grow up with no silver spoon. See, a lot of people think Prime he's a old school coach. Prime, go watch if you watch the well-off media and you watch how he talks to his players. Earrings, nah, bro, take them out. Team issue gear. Don't be out here running around with all this stuff on. Nah, bro, we not doing that. Like one of the biggest things, cell phones in the locker room. Remember he went off at Jackson State about that? People in the middle, cell phones. He's not he ain't playing that. So he said, I tried to dress it up. I said, you took your people, you took your team. He said, no, don't sugarcoat it. We went to the hood. We went to the street. We went to the block. We went to the
baby.
We that's where we took our kids, because you might need to know how to throw them things if somebody get out of line. He said, I took all my teams down to the hood because I want them to be hungry. Them is the people that's there that ain't getting out unless they nice. It ain't no corporate America waiting for them. Ain't mommy and daddy ain't got no job for them. It's the block, or I'm about to run this football or hit this baseball or dunk this basketball. That's what it's about. He said, that's what the competition is. And my kids played in the hood from here, we high. And you mentioned something that's crazy. Let me tell you about money. Money is relative. Tell you, there's people who will be on the block, right? And they doing illegal activities. They on the block. You got a bag of money. He got a bag of money over here on the next block. But they'd be willing to die for respect, right? They'll die over a street, over any, like, you see what I'm saying? If I'm in the game, think about this. I'm in the game and I do regular media, but that don't got nothing to do why I got the passion and energy to go and consistently be on the internet, because it's not about the money. If it was about the money, I would just buy gym shoes and do UCSS and hang out. I don't need to do none of that. I don't need to do no blogs. I just do Bleacher Report, do my little UCSS, and get up out of here. And I'll be cool and go on vacation. But no, it's about when you got a passion for something and you driven and you want more and you want to be successful. It's about pushing the envelope. It's about there being the best you can be. And so you're right. People think because you got money, that's a sucker's mentality. Not calling nobody a sucker, but what I'm saying is, just because you got money, that don't fulfill you. But what you are in this world has nothing to do with how much money you got. It's about your blood, your sweat, your tears, what you put into it. Listen, making something from nothing, going through adversity and still being able to stand up and look yourself in the mirror. These are life lessons. And the life lessons that he got was real. It don't matter how great you was in college. It don't matter how many stats you put up. It don't matter that Coach Prime put you in every position to do what you needed to do. And all you needed to do is just go to the draft and have them turn your name in the first round, and you was ready to go and the storybook is written. But God had a different plan. God was like, no, you gonna go the hard way, a different way, the long way, you can't skirt around it. And when you do go through it, you're a better person, because now who knows what you need to go through. Same reason Prime got money. Why Prime stay in shape? He one of the best athletes of ever for all time. But why he get cancer? You can't.
Can't escape it.
You can't escape that. So they both was going through something at the same time. And so you better, you stronger, and you accept the challenge, because that's what God gave you to accept. And so I think, the story should be inspirational to a lot of people, because seemingly people who got everything still go through stuff that they got to really get on their knees and pray about.
I just ain't understand how people don't understand what the man is telling you without trying to give you everything. Just like the jewelry that we wear. It's a crowning achievement for us as a people to grow up and be able to put these diamonds on, to be able, for the young boys,
by the way, I see you
gold chain.
By the way, I see you upgraded. But by the way, I see, he Snacks might be he in the VVS's now. Like I seen you do the VVS's now. Snacks, you funny, bro. You really? I said, oh, I said, oh, listen, man, you know what I'm saying? That's another little, I was just like, not put nobody, but that's another level. Like I said, oh, I see the way, I see the way they sitting over there. I'll go ahead, Snacks. I ain't gonna stop you.
You just gotta do what you do. You know? When it's time, it's time. but hey, don't act like you ain't got none there.
Hey, listen, I
saw them.
I just listen. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to compete. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, a little something to knock the dust off. But I said, dang, Snacks had 2 of them things. I said, hey, business is good over there, man. Business is good.
You mean this one right here?
Yeah,
it's right here.
Listen, I'll be down low. I'll be looking. I'll be looking at it, man.
It's over here. But yeah, I'm trying to understand how people like this misunderstand what Coach Prime is trying to say.
To talk to him about coaching, not football. Coaching, not about his son. Now tell me, in what world, Deion Sanders, is you meddling in Shedeur's situation helpful for Shedeur? Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here.
Listen at this,
I was thinking about my family and how lucky I am to have the family that I have. My mom, my late mother, my dad, my brother and sister, great aunts, cousins, the whole shebang. Because everything that I do, my family is neutral or they help me. So it makes me very, very thankful that my family is not a drain on me, don't cause any problems for me or anything. Now, it probably helps that I'm not rich. If I was rich, I would imagine perhaps some of them would maybe cause problems. But to this point, my family has only been a positive in my life. And then you have Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, so Deion Sanders has come out and said, now we already know the trouble that Shiloh has recently gotten in, and he's telling a woman to get back to the laundry room and the kitchen and all this stuff. And, by the way, was there a time where you really could say that, not get in trouble? Like, I'm not old enough to remember when that would have been allowed. But anyway, so Shiloh, like, where did you take that from? Like 60s TV? But anyway, we've seen all the trouble that Shiloh and other people around him. Last year, there's a lot of people that thought that he got bad advice, and that's why he fell in the draft. The Deion was coming forward saying he's been to hell and back and all this stuff. He's a rich kid. I mean, hell and back, hell is not, oh no, I fell in the draft. Hell is like not having food. But whatever, Deion.
That's what I'm talking about right there, Bush. People like, he just said everything wrong. Just everything he said was completely asinine. Why? And plus he on that clown show. But these people are the people that take what you did and do things like this. See what I'm saying? It's rich people ain't got no problem.
Well, the first of all, the premise is, so I would like to correct him, and I would say, people say that in the 60s, right? All that. Well, listen, I mean, they taking voting rights away today in 2026. I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, like 3 years ago, they used to tell us to shut up and dribble. I mean, is that the? I mean, I'm just keeping it. Like, listen, I'm just being honest with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? People say, oh, listen, your parents. I shout out to his family, and I believe in a strong black family and a family unit. But when you're talking about it, as if he's a hindrance. Bro, if you're a black father and your child and your children is college graduates and you're educated and you're an entrepreneur and you done succeeded at the highest level, it's the highest levels of disrespect to say that somebody is being a hindrance to you when they've given you everything. There's people without fathers. I don't care. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. If my dad got a difference of opinion with somebody in the media, guess what? They just gonna have to be mad. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna support my dad. I'm gonna support what he say. I'm rolling with my dad. He put it instilled in me in a way that I'm supposed to move. He put me in church. He went to work When folks didn't want to give him nothing, he had to grin and bear when he didn't want to do something, when he got passed over for different things. So at the end of the day, a father who is present at any being shaped as a hindrance is wild work. We'll start with that. Second of all, here's the thing that we got to get to, and I've always said it. See, there's a lot of people that be on the internet, and I stand by this. We do content. We are not the focus. You're a content creator. We talk about people who are the story. Let's stop acting like Coach Prime is next to you. He's nowhere on your level. You've accomplished nothing. See, it's a lot of people that haven't accomplished anything, but because we are where we are in the world, we feel like we can have this false bravado where everybody got this self-esteem. No. It's a lot of insecure people running around, trying to validate, trying to figure out, maybe you didn't, maybe you got left over. Maybe the cute girl in high school didn't like you. Maybe you weren't, the popular person. And now you get a couple of views, and now you're like, okay, well, I'm here. And you start to think that you are the story. You're not. First of all, you can't be calling, but you call him Mr. Sanders or Coach Prime. Don't be running around here saying Dion, bro. You don't even have the cachet to even speak that man's name when it comes to no football. You need to learn to be respectful. At the end of the day, even if I went to the president in the White House, I wouldn't call him by the first name. I'd call him Mr. President. Not because I respect who's in the office, it's because I respect the office. At the end of the day, there's a bunch of people, and the problem with the CU aunties and y'all got with them is you guys say disrespectful things, and then Coach Prime, you know what he does? He just says, you know what, I'm going to keep it pushing, and then they deal with it. And then the way they deal with you, yes, you turn right back into that little insecure person. Why are they picking on me? It's just his followers are so just uptight. No, his followers get you in line because y'all say crazy stuff. His followers get you together because you say things that be ridiculous and you think it's cool, but then you got to get called on the carpet about it. The bottom line is Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, has done more than people will ever forget about. We don't even know half the stuff and half what he done got to and got with situation. First of all, put a little respect on that. Second of all, you guys, this is very easy to do. It's just easy. We're here to a point now where, hey, let me just say the most outrageous stuff that I could say. Let me find somebody and find these little culture wars that we get into. And look, I always tell people like this. If I wanted to, it's a very easy way to be a grifter in society. And the grifters can be like, you know what? Let me just be the black guy that's the anti-everything. Let me just act like nothing in this world matters and everything is good and we need to just forget about 400 years and we can be all that good stuff. These guys, there are people out here that are really leaning into that, and that's fine. It's cool. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's about whether I can sleep at night. And if I can sleep at night and put my content out, listen, it might be a shelf life on where I can get to. It might be, hey, if somebody said ESPN, I may never go to ESPN, because even if I was there, at no circumstances would I be shucking and jiving. At no turn, I would not be moving around and moving and shaking how these cats do, because I think it's very funny that they talked about that, but nobody had a problem when they was talking about shut up and dribble, LeBron. That might as well have been just say, shut up and go dance for us. I think that's kind of crazy. And I told on my radio show, don't think I've been talking like this. I said on the radio show in Cleveland, I said, if you say shut up and dribble, you might as well call me a slur. You might as well, you tell me that to my face. You already done told me what you think about me. You want us to entertain you, shut up, be seen. We don't care about your rights, your freedoms, your opinions, or who you are as a person. Just entertain us and bless us with your talents. What kind of never mind. Go ahead, Snacks.
Ooh, G Bush be cooking. Y'all know Bush be cooking. The brother, he is generous with his time today, and I appreciate him. I know he's busy. But before we get you up out of here, because I know you got things to do.
I got time for you. Listen, I appreciate your snacks, but you know, we
Oh, you know we can go now.
No, we talk snacks. I appreciate you. And you know, I be getting going a little bit. What you got, man?
Go on. You do what you gotta do. I'm all day. I got these people because I know we had touched on this topic, but I want you to check something out, and then I'm gonna let you do your thing.
And again, you should check out the whole thing. He pushed back on the idea that any coach that drafted Shedeur would have necessarily been looking over his shoulder because Deion was coming for his job. He said, I never wanted their job. I love Colorado. I love my kids that I have in that locker room. I love the staff. I love all of it. I'm not trying to coach in the NFL. And I think a couple of people may have thought that. And they thought if they brought him in, it would be that. So one of the potential reasons for the slide is if you sign off on taking Shedeur Sanders, you're signing your own eventual pink slip. But January of 2025, riding the wave of his best season ever as a college coach with Shedeur and Travis Hunter, they finished, I think, 8-4 that year.
Yeah.
Went to a bowl game. Obviously, he said the only way I would consider coaching in the NFL is to coach my sons. He said that. And we love Deion, but we're going to force him to stay grounded in reality. In fact, when you say that, you're lighting a fuse. You just say at the time, no. I'm never coaching the NFL. I don't want to coach in the NFL. When you say the only way I would do it is to coach my sons, what are you saying to the eventual head coach of your son?
Right.
What are you saying?
Right.
Watch your back.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
A little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
And I understand why he would say now that may have been a factor. Yes, because he made it a factor. All he had to say was not say that. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, listen. I hear you there. I hear you. And again, some of this stuff has been unfair to Shedeur, but some of it's been some of their own doing as well.
Now, if y'all don't know, Chris Sims is the other white guy. Chris Sims was a quarterback in the NFL, whose father, Phil Sims, was also a prominent quarterback in the NFL. Now, sitting there talking, I'm wondering if Chris is sitting there reminiscing on how many days his father was in the locker room talking to the head coach, been on the practice field, talking to the head coach about him. Even though Prime has said a million times that I'm not coaching in the NFL. Yes, he said I would coach if I could coach my sons. He made it both of them, not just one. He said both of them. He made it clear that if he coached in the NFL, it would be to coach both of his sons, but only after he completed what he wanted to do in Colorado. And he said that would be years down the road. People, and they were doing this because of the interview you did with Prime, which they gave you your credit. They did say this is from Garrett Bush on his YouTube channel. He got a chance to sit down with Coach Prime, and I appreciate them for doing that. If they wouldn't have done it, they'd had to answer to the CUR team.
The streets, the community, the streets is loud. But shout out to them, man. I watch the show a lot. I always say this. Always remember this. So we actually will probably cover this on Wednesday. Shout out to the Final Cut. Me and Earl and Tyvis will be on 6 p.m. You can check that out.
Yes.
I asked you a question. Who is the only person to ever successfully maneuver a quarterback moving to another team in the event that some team drafted him. It's only been Eli Manning.
That is true.
It's the only one ever. His father orchestrated that, right?
True.
Okay. Now, that would mean he is Arch Manning's grandfather, right?
Mm-hmm. Grandson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grandson, right? What happened with Eli Manning, do you believe will hinder any team from taking Arch Manning?
No. They're going to take him wherever they say they're going to take him. And if he say he ain't going, like his uncle said he ain't going, guess what they going to do? Whatever they want to do.
I always say this. Yeah, if you're going to take somebody, that ain't going to be the number one overall disclaimer. Like, this is the reason we not going to do it. Everybody is so, like, he said, I would have to coach, but if I'm going to do it, I would have to coach both of my sons. If you are a coach and you are worried about another coach potentially coaching the team, then you ain't got the heart for the game. You just don't. Because you're supposed to be thinking, I'm trying to get the best available player because I think I can work with him and put him in my system and we gonna cook. If you're worried about somebody's father coming on, and by the way, here's how you know it's true. Here's how you know people was worried about it. Because out of everything that we did in that interview, what is the only thing that they've picked apart at? It's him saying he wants to go see Todd Monken. So the same spirit of fear, the same spirit of intimidation, the same spirit of apprehensiveness is still permeating in the same circles. Because him just wanting to say, hey, Todd, hey, Coach Monken, let's talk a little ball. Hey, you know, I did. Even that is still scary. So imagine what it was before. He didn't even say, I'm not going to be in the league. Because he said in an interview, I have no part. I ain't trying to go to the league. I love what I'm doing. So think about how apprehensive they were prior to that. The reality of the situation is Coach Prime is a very powerful individual. He's very connected. He's a football guy. He speaks the truth. He's not going to play with you. He's really, he is about that life. He is about whatever, you know, right? They say, when you see a person, he's exactly what it is. And you ain't going to get, no matter who you is, you're not going to get the sugar-coated or the other part. So that's intimidating to a lot of people. True. So for them to say, no, that couldn't have been, you know, that's, you know, people were scared. I could see why they were scared. And I could consistently see why you're scared now. Because out of that whole interview, from telling about Shedeur's past to talking about Colorado to talking about, even he goes on to say he mentors guys like Young Thug and rappers who get into trouble, from the story of him going to neighborhoods and taking his kids and making sure that they grew up without a silver spoon. All of the things, the work ethic, all of the concepts that we talk about in the interview, the thing that shines truest is what comes out in the rinse. In the rinse, after we got done with everything, the takeaway is, look at this. Coach Prime is still meddling.
Yeah. But
look at that.
He dropped something for the people that wasn't paying attention. He said, after all that y'all tried to do to hurt my son, and I couldn't do not one thing about it. I had to sit there and take it and watch it and look at y'all enjoying everything that y'all was doing to me and knowing that I couldn't do nothing about it. We know who did it.
That sent, let me tell you that. Let me just tell you this. That's in reverberations around. That's sent in the standard media. Now, you know, there's things that happen. I could say something and it happens in the YouTube sphere. We talked about that a little bit. I can say something happened, and I could talk about something, and then it happens on the media landscape. But one of the things that I promise you is when he said that shook a lot of cages. That rang out. That actually rang out and came back. That when you see somebody and it come back to you,
boomerang.
It was like people stood up and took note. And I'll say this. There's one of the reasons why there is such a battlefront and a battleground that it feels like it. Because the calculus is this. I study politics, literally study it, like, just the way people go about, how do they swing the audience, how they swing people, what do voters think about? Always remember this. If people are making bets, the bet is either Shedeur is going to be here or Shedeur not going to be here, or he's going to be a franchise quarterback or he's not. If Shedeur is a franchise quarterback and you bet wrong, people are worried about where does that leave me? Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, I mess with Shedeur just because of who he is off the field and what he does. If Shedeur Sanders does not turn into a franchise quarterback, they'll say, what are you going to do? Do the same thing I did when I covered the team for 15 years prior to that. Talk about the Browns and talk about whatever the case may be. But I've even said before, my thing is I diversify my content. I give you a lot of different things. Like, there's a lot of different things that I want to do, and I got a lot of passions to do. But for some people in the media, it can get really scary because it's attached. Their livelihoods, the way they move, your trajectory in this industry depends on a couple of plays here or there. And if you bet wrong, Coach Prime saying to people, oh, we don't forget. And a person that connected saying we don't forget and leaving it vague like that resonated. I'm talking about that resonated all across. When you walk in them rooms, that hit different, and that fog is laying right over the whole landscape. It's just sitting here. He dropped the mic and went out. I said, oh, yeah.
It's just hovering.
It's hovering. Yeah, it's hovering. And Shedeur, and you know what Shedeur doing? He ain't saying nothing. And that's another thing that people think that they crazy. Shedeur ain't hearing none of that. He keeping it G. He ain't saying nothing. He ain't moving nowhere. He off the grid. So they can't even deflect. They can't even throw some. See, I think the Browns and Shedeur and everybody, they real good with the marketing. He had that sit down. And I always say, my mom asked me, why do you think he agreed to do an interview with you out of the blue? I said, well, I think they understand that was the best place for him to tell his story and to become a human being. Because in the national media, they made it a spectacle. And when you can make something a spectacle and dehumanize people, then you can change people's minds and narratives. But the way he came off in that interview, as a father, as a professional, as a person who is level-headed, he could have came into that interview and aired out anybody he wanted. Couldn't he?
They was waiting on it.
Couldn't he?
They was waiting on it.
And guess what he did? He ain't mentioned not one of them.
Mary Kay was the only name he mentioned in that whole entire interview.
And the only thing he said was he acknowledged the fact that, people were going back and forth with Shiloh or whatever. But after that, he didn't say nothing about nothing. And a lot of people in the industry thought that this was going to be a whole situation where we're going to come in here and talk about receipts, and then they were going to get us. But in the reality of the situation, let me just tell y'all something. I told people, I'm not going to do no interview that's going to put added extra weight on Shedeur Sanders' plate by just getting clicks. I could have asked a bunch of clickbait-worthy conversation topics, but guess what? Why would I do that when I'm here to talk to a man that is about football, family, and legacy? And a lot of people don't like the fact that that interview came off as professional, tactful, and Coach Prime showing his emotions and true feelings as a father and presenting his side of the story. And I think it was awesome because all these national outlets, they can find very much to pick apart. So at the end of the day, I appreciate the opportunity. And first and foremost, I look forward to talking to more people. I look forward to talking to more players for them to tell their stories. The barbershop is a place for you to come tell your story. If you want, hey, remember the 1995 sources? If you don't want the dude all in the video, you don't want your producers all over. If you just want to have a conversation and you want to talk about your stuff 101 and you know ain't nobody going to be putting clickbait out, come on over to the barbershop and have a conversation and we can sit up. Because what we need to start doing is repairing the relationship between our athletes and these media outlets. It's a lot of y'all doing y'all's content, and I praise y'all for y'all. I salute you for doing that. But we need to get back in and lock in, and so we can really tell your story the way you want to do without people sliding and doing all that electric slide all over your legacy.
I tried to tell y'all, this interview was the first of many for G. Bush, especially expanding into that studio. Look to see more player interviews. I expect the Shedeur interview later on in the year in the off season. I don't expect it before the season starts because it's grind time.
Listen, I tell you what, if he ain't, I always said this. If I never get a Shedeur Sanders interview, guess what? I'm fine.
Oh, that's popping.
But if Lord willing, we're going to make it a movie, just like everything else. Lord willing, Myles Garrett, come on over here. Hey, Donovan Mitchell, stop playing. Come holler at your boy. Denzel, we already know what's up, man. See, listen, we gonna get this thing together and we're going to keep it going. But before I go, I want to let everybody know, again, it's about the entire movement. It's about that independent content. It's about showing people other sides, Snacks. It ain't about everybody. I'm the king of this. Nah, we ain't doing that. Ain't nobody know. We all kings. We all queens. And what we need to do is continue to support and don't get sidetracked. Martin Luther King, they wasn't soundtrack. They didn't get sidetracked.
Before I get you out of here, people don't watch what you do like I watch what you do. That interview touched you in a way. People didn't see it. You had that tear right there, that one. It was Prime hit you with the emotion when he talked about raising his kids and taking them down to South Dallas and doing the things. And when he, toward the end of that video, when he talked about how he felt about Shedeur and these boys and all the things that Shedeur went through, you had that little shine in your eye. You was holding that tear back.
Look, listen. This is why I don't mess with Bigsnackks, because he be doing me too much. He be pulling up. He be downloading. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. You know why that was emotional for me is because just like Prime, he a family guy. I'm a family guy. I do shows with my parents on Sunday. And so every single thing that he said with Shedeur, I saw my dad go through. When I was in college or when coming out of high school, people say I was All-American in high school. But the people I played for, they're like, oh, we don't mess with you. You tell the truth too much. I said, bro, you tell the truth. I said, man, I had coaches that was supposed to be my coach, and I'm in extracurricular. I got a 3.7 GPA. I played 3 sports, 3 varsity sports. I was in plays, musicals. I was doing everything. And then, they came to people and say, yeah, I don't know about him, man. I don't know. I played hurt my whole junior year. Hurt. Knew I needed surgery, but I wasn't telling nobody because that was the first year I played. I played both ways. All state, all high. And then you know what? People came and said, I don't know if he, you know what I'm saying? He ain't a team guy. He kind of talk. I said, what? Because I stand up? Because I'm vocal? Like, because I tell people, hey, man, we ain't getting it done. We not getting it done. Well, we comfortable. I'm telling you that. Coach asked me something. I said, Coach, listen, man, You worry about how high the Sox is. You should be worried about why we running dive plays on 3rd and 12. They're like, oh, he doing too much. He doing the most. And you know what? I respect what he does because my father did the same thing that he did. I was on traveling baseball teams, AAU. I mean, teams that don't lose games, 24-1, 24-2. We go into out-of-state tournaments trying to win national championships. And you know what my dad did? God told him, hey, I got a vision. He wanted to help young black men to be able to play baseball. And he said, I'm going to take you off my team, off that traveling team that I'm paying for. You going to be on my team. And we going to start our league in the projects. My dad went and picked people up every single day because people didn't have no mom and dads. They didn't have no way to get there. He found a way to get sponsors so that he knew we couldn't pay that fee. He got jerseys. He got bats. He went to the American Legion. He went to the Southeast Community Center. He went places. And God told him, he said, why people stop playing baseball? Black boys and black kids used to play baseball all the way up. What happened? The economic system changed. The traveling squads changed. It became crazy to get a baseball bat, a glove, cleats, all that. We couldn't afford it. And you know what God told him? You do it. And guess what? By his vision, he said, well, I said, why are you taking me off this team? I don't play. These dudes ain't no good. You know what he told me? Much is given, much is required. You need to show them how we move. You need to show them, as an example, how you go about being professional, how you go about practicing. And I didn't get it at first. And you know what? No longer than he did that. My dad coached that team 4 years. We went from having not one black kid on our varsity baseball team to after he was done for those 4 years, he had
the whole team.
He had 6 to 8 on varsity baseball. Guys with scholarships, guys getting drafted. We had guys get drafted into the Cardinals farm system. But why I was emotional a little bit, and it's a good catch by you, is because I saw a black man and a black father telling his story. And that story, no matter how much money you got and how much fame you got, we all got the same story. It don't matter. You can't escape it. It's here. It's palpable. And in that moment, even him being prime couldn't help the narrative that people give. So if Shedeur Sanders can get a narrative, what you think G. Bush gonna get? If you think they can get him up out of here, I started the barbershop not because I wanted to be cool. I started the barbershop because nobody would give me a job. I had a top 5 show on the radio. Every person you've seen, I done interned for a year at ESPN Cleveland. No disrespect to anybody. I done been at 92.3 The Fan. And those are great experiences for me. But you know what? It still stands. But I always tell people to end on a positive note. Sometimes when God closes a door for you, it ain't him shutting down your opportunities. It's opening him up another one. If he would have never told me, if he would have never said, no, you ain't supposed to be over here. No, you ain't getting that job. Do you think I would be here today even talking to Coach Prime? Absolutely not. So it's all in the Lord's timing. So if you're listening out there, understand that. You put him first. You do your best. You try to do what you can do. You lean on what he's telling you. And I'm going to tell you, everybody got a road. Everybody got to walk the road. Even Shedeur, me, you, whoever it is going to be. We all got a road to walk. The point is, did you stop? And did you acknowledge God and understand that you're going to lean on him? That's what I'm about.
Amen. And we're going to get G. Bush on out of here. We appreciate you and appreciate your time. But the Cleveland Cavaliers start against the Knicks tomorrow night. I know y'all happy. What you got?
Shout out to the Cavs, man. I was salty the other day. I was sick with it. I said, man, I can't believe we should have closed them boys all the way out on Friday. Guess what? Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. They came out there. Shout out to Evan Mobley. Jared Allen is playing out his mind on Game 7 the last 2 times. Listen, it's almost like one of them things. You done been to the blackjack table. I got about 25 chips left. I might as well go ahead and put it on. I got the Cavs. Let it roll. Listen, I can lose this little money. I'm letting it roll on the Cavs. I got the Cavs winning. In Game 7, it's going to take 7 games, but the Cleveland Cavaliers get it done. Book it. We going to Madison Square Garden coming up here. We're going to get ready to go. It's the Mecca. I appreciate y'all, but Cavs, let's roll. I'm excited, and let's see if we can get to that finals, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Bush of the Barbershop, we appreciate your time. If you don't know where to follow G. Bush, you can follow him at GBush91 on Twitter. Follow his YouTube at Garrett Bush, Instagram, all of that. To go follow the man, and we appreciate him and all y'all for hanging out with us for this grateful, god-awful amount of time. But it's beautiful to be able to talk to my guy.
Hey, man, as always, Snacks, much love to you. Continue grinding. You know what it is. You need me. I'm always a call away, man.
Y'all know who it is. The one and only Garrett Bush. And we going to get out of here.
All right.
Got the whole town listen. Yeah. I'm the scorekeeper. Got the whole crowd with me. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the scorekeeper. Got the whole town listen. Yeah. I'm the scorekeeper. Got the whole crowd with me. Come get your score. Yo. What's poppin', people? We back at it again.
Bigsnackks in the building.
This talk started on the game, late nights, red eyes, up low grind, 15 summers went by. Call of Duty lobbies, Lil Mike, big dreams, now it's highlight reels, turning life to a meme. Shedeur on the screen, break the plate, slow it down. Every throat, every drive, every yard, every crown. Sunday talk show, but we chill on the couch. From the Hail Mary, hope to the dog pound out. This that Bigsnackks wave, let it ride, don't stop. From the sticks to the field, all the way to the top. Showing love to the Lord, to the fam, to the Browns. Auntie in the chat like, baby, hold it down. He be saying what we feel, what the game's about. If you rockin' with the kid, throw your comments out. From the start to the sign off, that's what we about. Saying love, peace out, love, peace out.